Good morning. Welcome to the 2020 Virginia Small Grain Field Day. My name is Wynse Brooks. I am the barley breeder with the Virginia Small Grains and Genetic Program. Today I'm going to show you some of the exciting things that we are doing out here, and I will also show you some of the upcoming new and potential varieties. So where you see here, we have different blocks of barley. The Virginia Tech Barley Breeding Program is one of the largest, and also if not the only surviving public breeding program in the eastern United States. And therefore, we have so much currently working on so much in the program that we have to probably divide them into sections. And these varieties that we are developing are for different end-use markets, for feed, food, and for malt barley. While the program initially or traditionally concentrated on development of 6-row barley, with the outcome of the malting 2-row barley, we are also looking at expanding our 2-row barley production. As you look along, you see most of these here. When I talk about 2-row, I'm referring to this type where you have only 2 kernels or 2 flowers on each side. And traditionally, we focus on the 6-row barley, which are these. These are our traditional barley that we have for feed barley. But now, because of the malting barley, which prefer the 2 rows compared to the 6-row, and the only reason for that is that the kernels for the 2 rows are plumper and more uniform than the 6-row. So they prefer using the 2-row barley. So our focus now is on development of 2-row winter barley varieties. Here we are in the block of malting barley, and I'm going to show you some of the varieties that are in the program now. And some of these varieties are based on cooperative work. We are in joint collaboration with other breeding programs from the western to midwestern states, Canada and Europe. And you see some of these varieties we selected from like the winter malt barley trial that is coordinated by Dr. Kevin Smith in Minnesota. We evaluated these lines here, and because based on their performances, we were able to select some and are being grown here in the East Coast for malting purposes. Here is Calypso and Barletta are 2 varieties that came from the Lemon Grain program, and they kind of have performed really well here in the eastern United States, and they are being grown here as malting 2-row malting barley. And the next one here we have is Flavia. Flavia is from the Ackermann program in Germany, and we have Flavia, and there's another line that you see in the 6-row called Herondella. Those 2 varieties are from Ackermann, and they have performed very well in the breeding program, and also being grown here as a variety for the eastern and mid-Atlantic eastern United States. And here is 84, Virginia line, Virginia 6 M84 is one of our potential malt barley lines that has performed really well, over 2 years in the Eastern Malt Barley trial. It is one of the lines that we're looking at. We wanted to release it this year, but didn't have enough seed, so hopefully by next year, 2021, we'll release that. There's a sister line that was released in March of this year, and as you will see in the next basket. And here we have an experimental line. As you can see, the yield for this line is 85 bushels per acre. and has a test weight of 48.9 pounds per bushel. This is also a potential double hopler line that we are looking at, because it has very good quality too. So hopefully, if it performs well in this year in the Eastern Malt Barley trial, we'll probably be looking at it for as potential release candidate. Here is Avalon. Avalon is the first two-row winter malt barley that is being that was tested and developed for our program. Avalon is kind of unique in its malt quality. It has been tested at the various quality labs in Madison, Wisconsin, and in New York, and each one of those labs have put it thumbs up for this particular variety. And also it was tested in by AMBA in their powdered malt trial, and it was considered acceptable for all malt quality. So this was released, and it's going to be our first winter malt barley, two-row winter malt barley variety. This is another potential double hopler line. It's 14DH 1495, which is also in our preliminary test. It has a yield of 83 bushels per acre and a test weight of 51.9 pounds. So it's pretty good. As you can see, the head type, I like the color of the horn, look unique and golden. It represents the golden crop. You know, barley, it is the golden crop. Okay, like I told you about Flavia in the two-row, this is the six-row Herondella that came from Ackermann test in Germany. And as you can see, this is six-row. Of course, the malt guys don't like the six-row actually, but I'm sure if it has good quality, people will still grow it. And if it yields, like you see, this is really, it yields really high, like a high yield, and the kernels are kind of plump, except for the lyra. So it has been this Virginia Foundation Seed Farm is growing a good bit of this as increase. So we'll be looking at that. So these are all our experimental six-row experimental double hopler lines that you have here. And each of these, as you can see, kind of look pretty good. And these are tested in our advanced tests. And we'll be looking at the data this coming summer and see if the performance compared to how it performed last year. We'll probably advance it into the Eastern Malt Barley trial, and also into the Winter Malt Barley trial, and see what happens in there. If they continue to perform well and the quality is still good, we will be looking at six-row. Because what we've always said is that a good malt barley is a good feed barley, but not the reverse. So if they can make it to malt quality, they can still be used as feed barley. Here's another double hopler. It's a 17 double hopler line in the preliminary test. As you can see, it has 102.5 bushels per acre and a test weight of 47.4 pounds. That's a good bit of grain there. So this is interesting, and hopefully it will maintain its yield and quality. And then we'll be looking at that also as a potential release candidate. Here is another double hopler line, 16M 14DH 1269. I like it. It's short, you know, the straw strength. It has good straw strength, and it yields 94.6 for the 7.3. That's very good, and you know, it's being tested in our preliminary test this year, and hopefully it will perform well this year, and we'll advance it into our Eastern Malt Barley trial next fall. I'd like to see a little bit more on this. This is our ownless barley block, and the reason why we are testing these ownless barley for forage use. The PVP plant variety protection for Namina, which is here, has expired. So farmers are looking for new forage forage barley. So we went ahead and started evaluating some honest barley process. And so these are what you see here are mostly our potential honest barley for forage. So these are the two parents. Nominal and 4246 are the two parents that were crossed and derived. You would get Virginia 269. And you can see we tested for 2 years in advance test. You see it has a yield of 106 bushels per acre, a test weight of 46.9. This is the line that Philip has at the small grain foundation seed farm that is increasing the seed of, and it's 268. He has a yield of 101 bushels per acre and a test weight of 45.8. So we're looking at that and see how it looks like this year in waste forage testing and see how it performs. If it does well, we will release it. And we'll compare it to other ones we have here too. So now we are on our traditional whole barley, and again, this is where we started, and hopefully this is not where we will end. We're getting better, as you will see. Things are getting better as you go. New varieties coming in, they look better than they checked, and that's what when you breed, that's what you look for. You know, your new variety should be better than your checks, otherwise you're still lagging. So this is bar soy. Bar soy is one of the oldest varieties we have. That was developed by Kentucky. And so it has a yield of 88 bushels per acre and a test weight of 46.9. You know, one of the reasons for bar soy is its earliness. It's very early. So, and this is Wynse. Wynse is another old variety, and it has been used for a long time as a check varieties in the program. This is Nominal that you just saw up there. This is Galileo. Galileo has performed well because it's very early, very good, as you all know, probably earliness is one of the top traits that we breed for in Virginia and the Mid-Atlantic because of double cropping. So the earlier the variety, the better it is for double cropping. So Barley has been served its purpose, has been very well, done very well over the years. And now this is thoroughbred. Thoroughbred also has been one of the varieties that have performed and continue to perform well in the breeding program. You know, because it's serving multiple purposes. In fact, just before we started developing new malt barley variety, thoroughbred has been used and is being used around here for whiskey and all of that stuff. So, and it still yield well and has a good test weight. This is the other parent that will cross to Nominal, or Nominal across to this parent for forage. And 92, 42, 46 is a very old variety too. But the reason why we have kept it in the program for so long is because it has a very good resistance to leaf rust. You know, and so it has been one of our strong provider of leaf rust resistant gene, RPH5, that have kept our program going because when the leaf rust race 30 came and knocked out most of the barley varieties because of the gene RPH7 that was in it. 42, 46 were one of those that rescued us. This is Atlantic. Atlantic is also another good variety. It's early too, just like Calio. So it has performed really well. But we're getting better varieties coming up that are better than some of these old varieties. And there's Secretariat. Secretariat is also another good disease resistant, has very good disease resistant package, and yield also have good yield advantage over the other checks. You know, as you can see, it has a yield of 91.9 bushels per acre and the test weight of 46.9. So Secretary has performed really well and continues to perform as one of the better varieties in the state. Here we go. As I said, we are pleased to report the release of SB 255, which was tested at 11B 141. This variety also has good resistance to leaf rust and powdery mildew, and it has moderate resistance to scab, FHB, and low dung concentration. So this is the latest whole barley line varieties that we have now. So these are next few we're going to talk about are all potential releases. This is 13B25. It also looks short and very good straw, and it's early, so it's in the state test. It's being tested for the third year in the state test. So if it performs well, we will probably be looking at it as potential release candidate. Another potential release candidate is 14B63. This has a green yield of 92 bushels per acre and a test weight of 46.9 pounds. And it has also been tested in the state test for 3 years, and the 3-year average was 93.6. So that's quite promising, and we are looking at it this year. If the data shows consistently on top, we will probably be among our release candidates. Here's another one. Here is 16B 213. Very good, nice, uniform, pretty barley. You know, like the hair type plum. So this also yields 95.1 bushels per acre and 46.3 pounds per bushel test weight. The 3-year yield was 95.2, and that's quite interesting. This and this are sisters. These two are sister lines. This is a little taller, and this is shorter, which is also good. And this has about 2-3 bushels advantage over that. So, and the test weight of 47.9. Here is another potential variety. This is 17B76, green yield of 96.5, and a test weight of 48.5. So this is again going to be tested. It's been tested in the state test for the first year, and we'll see what the data shows this year, and continue to show potential. We will be moving on with it. This is another first year testing first year line that tested in the state test. It has a yield of 97.5 bushels per acre and a test weight of 48 pounds per bushel. So these two, the one who just came from them, and this are two potential barley varieties. If they continue to show potential, we will recommend it for release. Yes, as I indicated earlier, the Virginia Tech Barley Breeding Program is the largest, and one of until recently the only remaining public breeding program in the eastern United States. You can see that clearly because we came from malt barley to hornless barley for forage to hull barley, and now we're into the hornless barley program. We got 6-row and 2-row barley, hornless barley variety or lines. Here is our first hornless barley variety, Doyce, that was developed by the program. Doyce, as you see, has a 73.3 yield, bushels per acre yield. And the 3-year year average was 65.5. So Doyce, you can see that Doyce has started to lose its vigor. Initially, when it was developed, it had the great potential. This is Eve, our second hornless barley variety, and this is a nice hornless barley because it has resistance to scab too. It is one of the only varieties in the program that has express resistance to FHB, and so it's around now. But we having some, as you see, we have developed a new line that has even better resistance to scab and low down than E. This is Dan brand. This is our third winter Hollis Barley variety. It has one good characteristic of Dan is that it has very high test weight, so it's easy to pick up from among the rest of the other line because of its test weight. So it has a yield of 75 bushels per acre and a test weight of 60.3. That's higher than most of the other Hollis barley that you look at. This is a Maize 10. This is our latest before. I mean, this is the ones we released before the one that we just released this year. The Maize 10 has a very good yield. The yield is 1.4 bushels. I mean, for Hollis barley, that's a good yield. It's 1.4 bushels per acre and a test weight of 57.8. The 3-year average yield was 72.4. And it's also been. These are just what I'm showing you are all checks varieties. That's what we use to compare our new lines with. So the next few lines we have here won't be all potential varieties. So this is 14H58. 14H58 has performed really well, but hopefully it will continue to be consistent in its performance. You see it has a green yield of 92.2 compared to checks we've seen. It has green yield that is about 2 to 5 bushels per acre more than the checks variety, and it has a test weight of 58.9. So again, this is one of our potential Hollis barley variety that we'll be looking at data for this summer. We have 16H159. We have a yield of 90.3 and a test weight of 58. And here we have 16H160, a yield of 92 bushels per acre and a test weight of 58.1. So these are all potential varieties, Hollis barley varieties. That's our Hollis barley, 6-row Hollis barley, potential Hollis barley varieties. And all these Hollis barley, Hollis barley has been a very, I don't know, I always say that I think this is a no-brainer stuff when it comes to barley, because Hollis barley has the potential for feed and for food. And one market that we have not explored is the food market. And I think that would be this is a good opportunity for us to look at the food market and see whether, I know there are potential, but we just have to explore it, and that will be that. Right now, what these Hollis barley are used for is for the for feed, like the beef farms are interested in the Hollis barley, one in Oklahoma and one in Pennsylvania, the poultry. They're also interested in the Hollis barley. So those are the only two markets that we have now, but I think it can be expanded to the food market, because Hollis barley, or barley in general, has good nutritional characteristics. It has already been approved by the FDA as health food. So there shouldn't be any reason why we can't explore that. So I hope that will be something we all look at in the future. I also would like to. This is our third Hollis. Barley release. The new Hollis barley release, 15H73, and this line has. This variety has very good scab resistance and low down concentration. It's all yield. All the checks variety, Doy's, Dan, Eve, and the Maize 10. It has a yield of 90 bushels per acre and a test weight of 58.1. His line is being tested. I mean, this variety is being grown at the Foundation Seed Farm. So, and it's being given to farmers in Oklahoma and Pennsylvania to test, you know, and if the quality and all that remains the same, we'll find it and growing out there. And whoever else in the state that would like to grow harvest barley will be using this. So this is the latest harvest barley variety, Virginia H73. This is another sister line of 73. It has 16H27 with a test weight of 57.8 and a yield of 87.6. These three lines are sisters, but they're all different characteristics. So we'll be looking at them in the next year or so. If the performance still acceptable, we will probably release them as potential release. Last but not least, this is 16H28, another sister line of 73. It also has a yield of 87.9 and a test weight of 57.7. It's also, as you can see, like I said, they all have unique characteristics and they're all different from each other. This has performed really well in our preliminary test last year. So we'll see what it does now. So finally, I would like to thank the Virginia Small Grains Board, the U.S. Wheat and Barley Cap Initiative, the Kentucky Small Grains Board, the Maryland Grain Producers Utilization Board, the Brewer Association, and all in the School of Plant and Environmental Sciences of Virginia Tech, for their funding and contributing to the program success. And hopefully they'll maintain this funding and everything will be as we wish. And finally, I would like to also give many thanks to Dr. Carl Allen Griffith, who's retiring this year, for his persistence and his interest in barley. If it was not for Carl Griffith's interest and persistence, definitely barley would be on the shelf a long time, just like it is in other parts of the states, in other states. Because I always say, when I came here about more than 25 years ago, there were some kind of barley breeding program in each state, but currently everything just went away. And if Carl Griffith was not here, that's what we're going to have in the Virginia Tech breeding program. So I give him thanks, and I hope him well in all his future endeavors.